Hello, good afternoon my dear students. We are here with another day's Hindu newspaper. I am sure that all of you have already read the newspapers. To have the best benefit of the program, you must make sure that you read the newspaper before you participate. That will help you. Hello, hello. Hello. Yes, so good afternoon my dear students. We shall discuss another day's newspaper today. I hope that all of you have already read the newspapers. To have the best utility of the program, I would advise you to read the newspapers very well before you participate. So we shall start discussing the newspaper dated February 4. Massive gathering in Haryana demands repeal of farm laws. Those who have joined the program of very recently, I shall tell you what this particular news is all about. Farmers from Punjab and Haryana, mainly Punjab and Haryana, and of course farmers from Uttar Pradesh and other parts of the country too, are protesting in Delhi for the past 72 days. Their demand is that the government should repeal all the 3 farm laws that it enacted. The government came out with 3 new farm laws, first through an ordinance or ordinances in June 2020, and later on in September the parliament passed these laws. So they have become acts of parliament, they have become laws of the nation. Government's standpoint is that these farm laws will benefit the farmers, but farmers believe that they were not properly consulted and these laws would be harmful to them in the long run, and they ask for minimum support price, legal guarantee for minimum support price. They want complete repeal of all the 3 farm laws. Government said that the maximum it can do is to postpone the implementation of the law for 18 months, but farmers appear not to relent, and they say that all the farm laws must be repealed and there cannot be any further discussion. Government is using its brute force. If the newspaper reports are anything to go by, government has banned internet in the area where the protests are happening. There is international pressure too. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau intervened in the matter. There are signals from American government also that farmers must be listened, but the government says that it is an internal matter of India and in which no other power can intervene. So the farmers are protesting. Please follow the news and try to understand how it is going to end. Government notice in Twitter on farmer genocide hashtag. Social media's issue is that it's an excellent platform to communicate, but the problem is that there is no proper editing. Everybody is becoming his own media man. So misinformation is equally spread. Governments are very much concerned about the so-called misinformation that is being spread across the social media. In the instant case, the government has issued a notice to Twitter to comply with its order of removal of content related to farmer genocide. The sender alleged that the material was designed to spread misinformation to inflame passions and hatred, and warned that refusal to do so may invite penal action. Twitter restored over 250 accounts hours after blocking them due to legal demand. The platform, in a meeting with government officials, contested the order, arguing that these accounts were not in violation of Twitter policy and declined to abide by the order. We know that Twitter recently, during the transition period of a new American presidency, Twitter had banned the account of Donald Trump. So in India also, they have to follow by the rules, and if government has erred, then they have no liability to follow, but if they have erred, then they have to comply. So please read and follow. Governments all across the world have got a distaste for social media at times. The first question: the World Test Championship of Cricket finals will be held at Eden Gardens, Kolkata, Chepauk, Chennai, Lords, England, Adelaide Oval, or Kingston, Jamaica. We know recently that New Zealand became the first cricket team to qualify for the World Test Championship finals. India, if beats the visiting English team, India will also have a chance to play in the finals. And where is that finals going to be held? Is it in Eden Gardens, Kolkata, Chepauk, Chennai, Lords, England, Adelaide Oval in Australia, or Kingston, Jamaica? Yes, I am getting the answer from responses from my students, and your answer is correct. It is going to be held in Lords, England. So it is in Lords, England that the World Test Cricket Championship take place. It is going to be held in June or July. All to play for. We know that English cricket team is visiting the Indian soil. English team has come to India after beating Sri Lanka 2-0 in the recently held test series, and it's going to be a very long visit to India. They will be here till March end. They will play 4 tests and 3 ODIs and 6 the new format T20 cricket. If India could beat if India beats England, then it stands to fight for the trophy in the World Test Championship. A beautifully written write-up. We know that the home team has got advantage, especially when India plays in India. There is a genuine home advantage, but there were instances in the past when English teams toppled India. The Sunil Gavaskar's team failed against English cricket team many years ago, and but of course now India is a different contingent. We have got very strong pace attack led by Jasprit Bumrah, and we have got Ashwin and team which will make lives of English batsmen difficult through their spin, and we have got a very strong batting contingent too. Indian team has never been, Indian bowling department, especially the pace bowling department, has never been as much powerful as it is today. The second question, the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited HAL has won a contract to manufacture 83 light combat aircrafts LCA for the Indian Air Force, for 48,000 crore. They won the contract from the Indian Air Force for 48,000 crore. What is the name of LCA? Yes, very good, the answer is correct. It is Tejas. Of course, Dhruv, Cheetah, Chetak and Rudra all are HAL products, all are different kinds of helicopters from HAL, but the contract is won for the supply of Tejas, 48,000 crore contract. We know that the government of India has got an official policy that would help domestic companies win contracts. So we want to go for Make in India. The maximum procurement will be from within India. The armed forces procurement will be from within India. That is a great policy initiative. HAL gets contract for 83 LCAs in a 48,000 crore deal. The 13th edition of Aero India in Bangalore, which we discussed yesterday. HAL was awarded the contract to manufacture 83 light combat aircraft Tejas for the Indian Air Force at an estimated cost of 48,000 crore, while India showcased a range of indigenous military platforms to the world. So India has already become a very strong power in space, and India is on the making of making a very big defense production power in the world. No internet yet at Delhi borders, say protesters. If something unwarranted happens anywhere, or if something that governments cannot digest happen anywhere, the first thing that the governments do is to cut the internet, because the governments across the world know how powerful a tool the internet is, the social media is. We know that during the Nirbhaya case, the government had to change the criminal laws in the country when young people of India protested through the internet, through the social media against the then existing laws. We know that the Lokpal bill that had been brushed under the carpet for many years had to be passed very quickly in 2013 when Anna Hazare's protest was given huge support through social media. Youngsters of the country gave immense support through social media to Anna Hazare's campaign, and immediately the government had to respond. The laws, the bill that had been frozen in the parliament for many years were taken up quickly and was passed. And the funniest part is that once the Lokpal bill was passed, then every political party in India claimed its ownership. The Arab Spring, a small issue in Tunisia, an Arab nation, where the ruler was ruling for had been ruling for long years. When through social media, young people of Tunisia took up the protests, the government was toppled. It spread to Libya, where Colonel Gaddafi had been ruling for 48 years. His government was also toppled. Then it spread to Egypt, where Hosni Mubarak was preparing for his 7th term presidency. The social media groups spread their angry protests, and immediately, finally, the government was toppled and Hosni Mubarak was arrested and sent to jail. Again it spread to Syria. The calamitous situation in Syria still continues. So governments across the world are scared of internet, at least on certain occasions. So here the government has cut internet in the protesting areas where the protesters are campaigning, and they say that no internet at Delhi borders, the protesters say. Please keep a close watch on all these things. Democracy offers openness. Democracy offers you the right to protest, and in a peaceful manner. And governments should not stop propagation of information. If misinformation is propagated, then of course government has to act. Suu Kyi charged, remanded for 2 weeks. Aung San Suu Kyi, who is the state councillor, the leader of National League for Democracy in Myanmar, you know recently NLD, National League for Democracy, was re-elected to power, and National League for Democracy formed the government, but the military accused that elections were not properly conducted, election irregularities were blamed, and it asked NLD government to probe the possible election irregularities, which the government did not pay heed to, and the government was toppled through a military coup. Aung San Suu Kyi is remanded for 2 weeks and she is under house arrest. So what is going to happen in a very young democracy in the neighborhood is what we all are looking at. Iran's Rouhani rules out changes to nuclear deal. We know that Iran was clandestinely developing nuclear. It is a country that is having nuclear aspirations, and in 2015 the Barack Obama government finally could sign an agreement with Iran, under which it decided not to proceed with its nuclear aspirations. But in 2018, Donald Trump administration unilaterally withdrew from the agreement, and ever since then Iran is saying that it will continue with its nuclear program. Anyway, a new administration has come into place in Washington, and hopefully the wiser administration will show the largest to speak to Iranian authorities, and Iran may toe the line. WHO team visits Wuhan virus lab at center of speculation. We know that the pandemic originated from Wuhan in China. We do not know, the world community does not know, the scientific community does not know the origin of the virus. Generally, when a virus spread takes place, if you go by the history, immediately the origin is fixed. Where has it originated from is fixed. That is very important for the research community. but China has been all along trying all its best to prevent scientists from World Health Organization to visit China. The visit was planned for January 2021, while the WHO authorities were preparing, and while most of the scientists were moving to the airport, the Chinese authorities said they were unwelcome to Wuhan, but finally, thanks to international pressure, China agreed to allow the scientific community from WHO to visit Wuhan. Now the world hopes that the scientists from WHO will finally be able to unearth where the pandemic originated from. Interest of PF contributions over 2.5 lakh must file IT filing. Okay, we know that interest from the Provident Fund contributions, if it exceeds 2.5 lakhs, then that is subjected to income taxation from this year, from April. So if those people who are earning, if there are people who are earning more than 2.5 lakhs from Provident Fund, then they have to file income tax returns. That is the idea of this news. India's weak fiscal position to remain a credit challenge. We discussed in detail while we discussed the budget. We said that India's fiscal deficit this year is 9.5% of GDP. We were planning to control, as per the FRBM Act, Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act of 2003, India was to control its fiscal deficit to 3.5% of GDP by 2021 March. But this was a very difficult year. This was a rare year with no reference. So in this year, economy was almost shut down. So government's revenue went down like anything, but government had huge financial commitments to help people and businesses. So government had to resort to borrowing, justifiably resort to borrowing. So the government could not limit the fiscal deficit to 3.5% of GDP, and it was slipped to 9.5% of GDP. So the higher the fiscal deficit, the lower the financial strength. The write-up says that India's weak financial position remain a key credit challenge. So when we become financially weak, our borrowing capacity comes down, our rating may come down, and when we go for international aid, it will become very costly. Okay, please read. Our reforms, everything will be difficult. Jeff Bezos is a name associated with AT&T, Amazon.com, Walmart, Apple Incorporated, or Microsoft. I know that everybody will answer this question. He is a popular figure among youngsters. All are very big companies in the world. Yes, as predicted and expected, many have already answered. I expect a few more. Okay, very true, it is Amazon.com, the second information. Amazon's second choice. Amazon's founder Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO and he became the executive chairman. So Jeff Bezos started Amazon.com as a bookseller, internet bookseller, digital bookseller, and now Amazon.com is a very, very big company, unimaginably big company, and it is one of the very few companies that fared extremely well during the COVID time. While many companies gave pink slip to their employees, Amazon added their workforce, because during the internet time, during the lockdown time, people were depending heavily on home service. So Amazon is no longer just a bookseller, rather they sell everything under the sun through internet platform. digital platform rather. Amazon's Bezos to step down as CEO, sales top 100 billion first time. Their sales crossed 100 billion first time. Sales rose to 125.56 billion as consumers turn to world's largest online retailer for holiday shopping, etc., etc. Okay, so look, brick and mortar shops closed their doors. Brick and mortar shops means all the Kinara shops, the physical shops that we can see. While Amazon, the world's largest online retailer, instead recruited an additional 4 lakh workforce and posted consecutive record profits. So there were companies and corporations who were benefited by lockdown. The next question, World Wetlands Day is observed on February 1, February 2, February 3, February 4 or February 5. World Wetlands Day is observed. Quickly. I am expecting your responses. So it is February 2, the second option, February 2. I am proceeding further. Fifth question, India has set up its first wetland conservation center, the Center for Wetland Conservation and Management at Kochi, Bhubaneswar, Vizag, Mumbai or Chennai. National Center for Sustainable National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management. National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management. This is also in Chennai. So Center for Wetland Conservation and Management is opened, established at National Center for Sustainable Coastal Management at Chennai. So our answer is the fifth option, Chennai. Very important, a new establishment. Question number 6, the non-performing assets NPAs of Indian banks stood at on September 2020 at what? $8.08 lakh crore, 10.36 lakh crore, 11.14 lakh crore, 12.11 lakh crore or 15.22 lakh crore. The answer is the first option, 8.08 lakh crore. Very important question. The non-performing assets means the loans that are not properly repaid or serviced. The higher the NPA, the lower the strength of the bank. The higher the NPA, the higher the weakness of the bank. So it is good that NPAs come down. It was 10.36 lakh crore in 2018 and now this has come down to 8.08 lakh crore. The figure is very high, but still it is heartening to see that governments and RBI's efforts to control NPAs have shown success. My dear students, thank you very much for watching the program. make sure that you read the newspapers before you participate. Tomorrow we shall discuss the next day's paper, February 5th paper. Make sure that you read today's paper very well and come for the program. These questions that we discussed today will be available in our application in the daily GAN section. Ensure that you revise the daily GAN sections periodically. It has got plenty of materials of different kinds, not just the news analysis. Plenty of questions are given, new words are given, other information is provided. So please ensure that you visit Daily GAN and make use of it. Ensure that you remain very enthusiastic all through the course and the program, because getting a public sector job is a very difficult task, but it is not an insurmountable task. It is meant for people who are really generally enthusiastic about things. So please support us by sending your posts in our YouTube channel against the programs that we give, and please like our Facebook page and support us through our social media initiatives. At 3 o'clock again we shall come with another live program, and that is, of course, it is exclusive for our students. Thank you very much. Have a very nice day ahead. Goodbye.